Quer saber como é que governos podem ser mais inteligentes, parlamentos podem ser mais inteligentes? Como a gente pode construir leis melhores com a ajuda da população? Você pode entender um pouco mais disso com uma das maiores especialistas do mundo nesse assunto. Fique nesse vídeo para ver. Olá, eu sou Cris Ferri. Se você não me conhece, eu tenho esse canal que faz aí vídeos de inovação cívica. Como é que podemos ter um governo melhor, como é que podemos ter um estado, um parlamento melhor? Sempre, claro, pensando em usar tecnologias cívicas, pensando em usar inteligência coletiva. E hoje estou aqui no Bellagio Center, uma instituição para trazer pessoas, as melhores cabeças para discutir alguns dos assuntos mais importantes por um período de 3 a 4 dias, uma semana, aqui em Milão, na Itália. E eu tive a honra de ser convidado para uma discussão sobre Crowd Law. E aqui do meu lado está uma das maiores especialistas nesse assunto, que é a diretora do GovLab. O GovLab é um instituto de pesquisa e ao mesmo tempo de realização de projetos. Eles têm essa dupla faceta, baseada na cidade de Nova York. E a sua diretora, conhecida como The Mother of the Open Government, é a Beth Novak. Hello, Beth.
Hi.
Really nice to having you here.
Very glad to be here.
So, in very, very simple words, what is crowd law about?
Crowd law plays on these words that we're familiar with now: crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, crowd intelligence. The idea that we can use new technology, the internet that's in everybody's pocket, to allow us to collaborate and work together to do something that we've never been able to do before, which is to make the laws that govern us. So we're used to instead electing representatives who go behind closed doors and make decisions on their own about our lives, about our cities, about the services that affect us. We believe that we have the right today, that it's our obligation to use the technology to participate in how those decisions are made, and that it's the obligation of our institutions to open up, to change, to take account of our voices. And not just our voices and our opinions, we've been shouting for a long time, but actually our experience, our expertise, our know-how. If I drive to work every day, I know something about the roads in my city. If I have a child in school, I know something about education. If in my day-to-day work, if I'm a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, I have a special expertise that it's my obligation as a citizen to share. Now we have the technology that allows us to do so. But what we're beginning to develop in cities all around the world are the processes or the methods or the institutions that are willing for the first time to say, we actually want to hear from people. We want to know what you think. We want to know what the situation is on the ground. We want to understand better what your concerns and problems are. And above all, what's most exciting, we want your innovative and good ideas for how to solve those problems. What we fundamentally understand is that people we elect may be good people, may be smart people, but they do not have all the answers for how to run our communities most effectively. The answers and that intelligence lies with us. And we need to change the way we do things to ensure that we're deciding and doing together. The idea of institutions engaging with citizens comes before both of us and before the internet. For many years now, there have been laws which have said citizens have a right to comment on the law or to comment on policies after they are made. What's changed with the internet is the idea that even before we write the law, we can start to ask people, what kind of laws should we be making? Do we need a law about how to improve education, or do we need a law about how to reduce traffic? We probably need to do both of those things, but determining what are our most urgent problems is something we need to do collectively, that we need to do together and decide what our own priorities should be, and that's what's beginning to happen and beginning to change.
And have you seen a great evolution in this crowd law project since the very beginning? We started to pay attention on this.
Yeah.
So nowadays, in which level they reached? Can you mention any inspiring projects?
So I would say, 10, 15 years ago, we started with websites. In the United States, we have a website called regulation.gov. Every federal agency has to put up drafts of regulations the specifics that implement, that decide how a law will be carried out in practice. So the Congress, our parliament, says we must have clean water, and our environmental ministry then writes the rules about how we're going to get clean water. Before those rules come into force, citizens can comment on them. So that was the first generation of these practices. But the reality was only very few people knew about the opportunity to participate. It's very technical, and so only very few people actually participate. And in fact, they tend to be lobbyists and interest groups and the usual suspects who've always participated. What's evolved in the last few years now is the ability to do new things. So first of all, platforms like Decide Madrid or Decidim in Barcelona, where citizens can say, these are the issues we want to have laws about. These are the problems that we're facing that we need to regulate. These are the things we need our politicians to pay attention to. So not asking for participation after the fact at the end of the process, but all the way at the beginning of the process. Another really exciting example that's very new in only the last few years is in something that's happening all the way at the other end.
Right.
So we pass laws all the time, we write regulations, but nobody asks, are they working? So you can have a project where a parliament or a city council says every kid should have a free healthy lunch in school. And then everybody forgets about it. We forget. Are kids getting the lunch? Is it actually a healthy lunch? We pass laws which say we should reduce traffic, and then we never bother to figure out, did it actually work? Did we actually do anything? Politicians make claims and promises, but we don't know if they ever become real in practice. So the other exciting thing is at the end of the process to give citizens the right and ability, using their mobile phones, to give feedback, to say, you know what, I'm not getting a healthy lunch, or I'm sitting twice as long in traffic than I ever was, that would give us the chance to evolve and improve how we make laws and policies. So for me, what technology is doing, or has the potential to do, is to make governing a conversation between public institutions and the public on an ongoing basis, something that we're doing all the time on a regular basis.
What are your favorite two most difficult barriers or challenges that we are facing to even evolve faster in this thing?
The two most difficult barriers, and there are many, I'll give you one from the institution side and one from the citizen side.
Right.
Institutions, even when they want to, do not know how to open up.
Right.
So there are platforms that have existed for a long time that you can put up a website and get comments from people. But frankly, for a public institution to get 100 and God forbid 1,000 or 10,000 pieces of input, comments, suggestions, ideas from people, it's not manageable.
Right.
Public servants have a lot to do, and when even the best intentioned public servants don't have the ability to manage a process.
So what do they need? Training?
So they need three things. They need training in how to do it. They need better tools, which exist now, that make it possible to manage a lot of content.
So technology is not the big issue anymore?
Technology exists, but knowing how to use it, which requires knowing which tools should I choose and the training for how to use it. And frankly, we're evolving now even newer technologies using artificial intelligence and machine learning, some of these machine tools that make it possible to sort through and sift through and organize content. There are both methods and tools that make it possible if we only have the know-how for how to do it. So institutions need better skills for actually managing these processes. It's not intuitive to know how to engage with people. It's a learned skill. And on the other side, it's incumbent upon all of us. The big impediment is our willing to participate, to be active and engaged citizens. We're so used to saying, I pay my taxes, let the other guy figure it out. But you know what? We're unhappy with how government works. We don't trust how government works. We think it could be done better.
Right.
And therefore, it's incumbent upon us to share what we know about the things we know about, how to improve our schools, how to improve our roads, how to make our hospitals more efficient and more effective. Each of us has something to share if only we had the way to share it.
Just to finish it up, how can you see the future of crowd law? I mean, in 10 years?
So in 10 years from now, my hope is that every public institution at every stage of decision making. That means from the point of identifying the problems we want to work on, to deciding what solutions we're going to put in place, to writing the drafts, to then implementing them, and then in fact monitoring and evaluating how the solutions are working, that we should be engaging at every stage of the process. That doesn't mean every single person working on every single thing. It means working on the things that are of interest to us and having the tools and the methods that make it fast and easy. It should be just as easy to participate in governing as it is now to comment on a newspaper article online or to vote on a song competition on television. I can vote on the Eurovision Song Contest. Why should I not be able to vote on and participate in and share my views about how my own city is run?
Oh, great. I hope so. So, thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much.
Espero que você tenha gostado do vídeo. Se gostou, então não deixe de dar sua curtida, porque aí essa mensagem se espalha para outras pessoas. Quer conhecer mais sobre isso? Eu estou botando aqui os links abaixo, também sobre o trabalho da Beth e sobre o resultado desse encontro que nós tivemos aqui com especialistas aí em Crowd Law. Estou fazendo mais alguns vídeos também sobre esse evento, então não deixe de acompanhar aqui, de acompanhar esses vídeos aí no outro canal. E para receber isso em primeira mão, é só se inscrever nesse canal. Até o próximo vídeo, um abraço!